Yep. That's an unfinished 360. Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Big Wrench Tech, and today I got that 360 Magnum that I really need to finish up and do something with for the satellite roadrunner I call false advertisement, because she is losing some serious oil pressure, as you've seen in previous videos with the drag racing video that I did not too long ago. Well, I say not too long ago, it's actually going to be a year ago coming up very shortly. As you've seen in that video, that 318 did not want to blow up. In fact, it got me home. It did all the things for a good long while, but now she is starting to show signs of severe tiredness, I should say. In my recent video, I said about leaving off on a project of where I stopped and can't remember. This is a prime example. I'm having to try to scrape little areas like the gasket area to make sure I still had the head gaskets on, the timing cover gasket on. I do not remember where I left off, so I have to tear back into this, see if I even torqued down the head bolts. See, I didn't even know I put those on there. I was looking for them. Simple stuff like that. And I guess I do remember in my previous video that I had to just watch a minute ago about the orientation of my lifters. So that's in here, right? Okay. I guess that's okay. I did not port and polish these intake runners by any means, because it was a daily driver car and I wasn't looking for any street screaming performance. What is wrong with me and who hurt me? I just realized that is a Chevy small block header that I hung on this 360. I don't know if I mentioned yet, but this new form of Big Wrench Tech, I should say, is going to be a little more serious. Yes, I'm a little more joking, or I'll still be a little comical here and there. But anywho, on your harmonic balancers, make sure there's not a whole lot of cracks or splitting or anything like that, because I'm not too concerned about that. Well, your timing marks could be off due to slippage, but this one seems to be okay. I'm starting to remember a little bit. Okay, I left off by ordering a flex plate for this Magnum specific, which it is, flex plate. But unfortunately on a 904, you have to oblong one of the bolt holes to fit a torque converter, or in my case, stall converter, because I'm running kind of like a mild gray street performance cam in this. In other videos with 360 Magnum engines that take that special flex plate, also you got to keep in consideration that it's an externally balanced engine. Therefore, you're either going to have balancing weights on that flex plate or the torque converter or stall converter in this case. You do not want to run both. You're going to feel a lot of vibration and it's just going to be a bad time. So if you got one, make sure the other one's neutral balance. So if you have weights on your torque converter or stall converter, make sure the weights are off on the flex plate. If you have weights on the flex plate, knock them off your torque or stall converter. My first step was to go through this bucket, find the gaskets that I need that I have not put on here yet, and kind of go from there. Obviously, there's going to be some gaskets that we don't use in this Magnum kit, like this. This is a Kager bottom plate gasket. I think that's what it's called. These are notorious for breaking just on the sides right there and ingesting oil over time. So if you see a lot of oil in your Kager intake on your Magnum, you may want to check this. I'm really glad I tore that timing cover back off, because I would have never noticed that I did not put those gaskets on. This is why I'm going to go back and make sure everything, including the heads, everything is properly torqued before going back into the car. I am sort of going to miss the sound of the old Diplomat 318, but I know the next one's going to be a whole lot better. But let's take a moment and just listen. You know, sometimes the benefit of actually doing YouTube videos is it's kind of documentary where some stuff goes. Why is there only that little thread holding the carburetor on? And in case anybody's wondering, yes, the HEI is still holding up fantastic. I have kind of a different approach on something. But because I don't have all the bolts for this said engine, I decided to literally move the car right outside the shop. I'm going to remove one bolt and add a bolt. So bolt for bolt, timing cover bolts, water pump bolts, etc. And that's how I'm going to approach this project. Might be the wrong way, but it's a way at least. Do you believe all the exhaust manifold bolts were literally that loose. Seriously, effortlessly one of them. Why were these like this? Wow. And I was afraid they were going to break off. Instead, it was just the opposite. If the old saying goes, champions don't run champions, then what do you run in a Mopar then? But I'll go ahead and be honest with you now. This won't be done in this video. My plans are actually stripping this one down, putting all the good parts on the set engine that's in there. And then when that one's completed, I will be then finishing up. This will be part 1 of this video, and then part 2 will be the whole getting that back up and running and the full. We don't really have to break in because it's a hydraulic roller cam, so that's always nice. Well, it's much to my surprise, after I removed the carburetor, this is a single plane intake. However, also much to my surprise, it is an Edelbrock Street Master 318 intake. Just sent the picture over to Jamie, and I was like, why did they put a single plane on a relatively stock intake? He's like, or stock engine. He's like, dude, that's a Street Master. That's actually a pretty good intake. So, well, yay me, I guess. Now, I can't use this intake on the Magnum because obviously Magnums are intake specific. If somebody is possibly interested in this engine, please let me know. It's probably gonna come up for sale, most likely. It has some very few sentimental values to this engine, just because, you know, I won my last trophy with it and whatnot. But she is tired, she is worn out, and I'll let the intake go with it as well. Supposedly it's a sought after intake, but anyways, just let me know in the comments if you guys want it or not. Went ahead and got the distributor out. Admire the blow by. Wow. And I just stuck this in here maybe a year ago or so. Steady. Steady. Not the most insane level of sketch that I've done, but it's pretty close. Easy. Okay, that's sketched. Yeah, almost practically nothing to see here. Great success. Next day, and as you see, I made a bit of progress on it. Got the valve covers bolted down. I need a couple more bolts. I'll rob them out of the old engine. Fuel pumps on. I got these mock-up bolts on the timing cover there. That's because I'm trying to seat the gasket and I do not have a water pump yet. Front main seal is installed. Whenever I install a front harmonic balancer, I like to put a little bit of anti-seize in there, you know, in case I or another individual has to take it back off again. I like to say we're getting closer, which we are. Some people can knock this out in, you know, a couple of hours or so, but I don't do this on the daily, so I'm really taking my time with it and just really paying attention. I advise you do that as well. Somebody want to explain this one to me? What is going on here? Well, nonetheless, we made pretty good progress this evening, even if we were halted by that. He sent the footage over to Jamie, and I was like, what is this kind of witchcraft tomfoolery type stuff? Told me good catch, because those things are pressed in, and I had no clue anything about it. I thought they had like a little roll pin or something on the side for redundancy, but nope. And before anybody says whatever, that your oil pump's bad, I just checked it. It's fine. For some reason, that gear is just literally spinning on that shaft. That's all right. I'll just rip it out of the 318. But unfortunately, I'm out of time for this video. There is going to be a part 2, and it will be installed by next week. The new water pump that I ordered for it, well, was the wrong one. And it's easier to put the water pump on while the engine's already out of the car, naturally. And I better not forget that, because that would be slightly inconvenient. But you know how it goes. Rome wasn't built in a day. Anyways, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the update. I sure have. Anywho, don't be afraid to throw a wrench at it, and we'll see you on the next one.